Very fine.
Hi, everyone. This is Carlos Rosario with the Niche Mastery Interview Series, and joining me today is Yifat Cohen. I hope I pronounced that right. The G Goto Gal. She's one of my mentors, and she's an uh, amazing Google Plus marketer. She seems to know everything there is. I thought she kind of worked for Google when I first found out about her because she knows everything that there is about her. She's got a lot of accolades. She's done a lot of cool things, and I strongly encourage you, if you're looking to figure out how to work with Google Plus and incorporate it into your business, which I think you should, you really do want to follow Yifat. And just to give you a bit of background of how fortunate I am to get a hold of her is I first found out about her through a guy by the name of Brock Predovich. They were doing some things together. I could be wrong, but that's how I learned about her. And she had some free training. Not sure whether or not it's still available. Is it, Yifat? The G Plus Goto?
Nothing that I've done with Brock is still up. So
okay.
there are new things out there. So yeah.
Okay. Well, she was offering some free training at the time that I was able to take advantage of, thankfully, and she's an amazing social media marketer. She's a wonderful mom. She's always showcasing pictures of her and her daughter. She's definitely a role model. She's always adding value to the community and to everyone. So if you follow any of her stuff, I'm always looking at her when I'm on Google+. I'll look to see if she's posted something, or if she has, I'm definitely running there to see what it is that she's shared. She's helped me navigate those waters. Even getting this thing started, she thankfully took the reins a bit and helped me get Google+ started, and hopefully we can figure out how we can go about getting you started with some insights from Yifat, if I can coax her to give us some tidbits. She's done some amazing interviews, like on high traffic blog sites like Entrepreneur on Fire, which is run by John Lee Dumas, and that thing gets like a few thousand hits, I think, per month. She's been rated one of the best Google Plus users by the G Plus community. She's done some just some pretty. She's interviewed some pretty top big names like Ryan Lee and Mike Elgin. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name properly. And she's always doing amazing hangouts, which I can never ever get on, but I can at least watch her and watch the content. And everything she shares is pretty epic. So I do highly recommend you take a look and check her out. I think the best place to go find her would obviously be to go Google Plus, but I think she has a G+GoToGal.com is one of her main websites, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. So, Yifat, thank you so much for joining me, and I'm sorry I rambled on there, but if you wouldn't mind explaining, because I probably didn't hit the nail on the head, how would you explain who you are, and how would you like to be introduced?
I actually am so flattered by this introduction, and the fact that we actually go that way back, and this is the first time we're hanging out, is kind of crazy, right? But yeah, I started here with Google. I was one of the first 100 people who got invited to beta, and I've been testing it ever since. And I met like my new family there. I just made really awesome connections and built partnerships and made true friends. So I am very passionate about this because I think it really builds relationship outside of your regular stuff. So rather than going to an entrepreneurial meeting and meeting people there, right, like-minded people, you can do that on Google Plus and never leave your house.
Well, you figured out how to make it a community, because I really do feel like, the stuff that you share is very, you deliver it in a very intimate kind of personal space sort of setting. You almost feel like you're in the room with whoever it is that you're engaging with, which is really, really awesome. And that must be hard, because I know that there's some batty people out there, so I don't know how you filter that, and that's probably something that
it never happened to me. It's really interesting. Like, people are saying that stuff, and they're like worried, and I think maybe it's your energy. Maybe it's like, oh, if you're afraid these people will jump in, they jump in. If you're like open, it's like whoever comes, I'd love to meet you, then, that happens.
Right on. Okay. Well, so how would you describe exactly what it is that you do? Is it, and forgive the questioning, but I'm pretty sure, I could imagine. I know I talk to some family members, and I talk about what I'm doing online and stuff, and they think I'm just playing around on Facebook or playing around on Google. They're like, what are you doing? What is it that you do? What's your kind of your niche superpower, or what problems do you help people solve? And it's obviously, I know it's Google Plus, how to master Google Plus, but how would you describe it?
So it's funny that you say that because Google invited me to Brazil and Mexico, and they flew me around the world to talk about some communities and Google Plus. And every time I call my parents, I'll be like, "Hey, I'm flying to Brazil," and they're like, "You getting paid?" So if it's like you're not getting paid right away, it's like it's just a hobby, right? But it's not.
Right.
You're building relationship. What I do, I think, is Simon Menering put it best. He says, I scale intimacy using technology so that we can experience what our heart and minds can achieve together. And my passion really is to get more people to figure out what their passion is and find like-minded people that they can connect with on this medium, because I think, my belief, my utopian belief, is that if you're passionate about anything, right, whatever it is, it's like underwater basket weaving, right? There are 10 people around the world who probably feel the same, and if you get to meet them and you just talk to them, you'll feel listened to, you'll feel understood, you'll be able to collaborate with 9 other brains that you can make money out of it, and the quality of your life will just increase. You'll be a happier person, and I hope it will ripple and make a happier world. So that's my utopian.
Right on. Well, is it just a matter of building the community, or can I guess what I'm wondering is there a short answer for how to monetize that?
So there are a lot of people actually who found that they can, charge people for Hangouts and just share their knowledge. So you don't have to do Hangouts on air, but you can teach someone how to cook. You can teach someone how to program. You can teach someone how to put a website up. You can teach someone how to knit. Now
Wow.
that glass is coming out, you can teach you can see what they're seeing, and you can even teach them how to, goal for bow and arrow, whatever it is you call them.
Is it just for the people that don't know? Because when you called me, was that the thing that showed up on my phone? Is that the Google Glass thing? Or what is Google Glass?
Oh, so Google Glass is. I know, it's a challenge because I think I've been here so long that I'm learned a jargon that I think is common knowledge, and it's not. So my apologies.
No worries.
So Google Glass is like a glasses, but there's a little.
Oh yeah, you said that. Okay.
That you can see through, and it's actually you can hang out with it. It's still in beta, so only 10,000 people have it, and it's about $1,600 now, and you have to fly to San Francisco, New York to get it fitted, and
Whoa.
there aren't many apps that are working on it yet because developers are still developing it. So the beauty of it is that it's not going to replace your phone. I mean, your phone has this huge screen, right, that you can surf the internet and you can chat and you can do all that stuff. That's a phone. The Google Glass thing will allow you to connect with people and information that you need on the spot right away. So if you're a surgeon, rather than looking at a monitor, you can just look in Glass, right, and see that. If you are a mechanic, you can hang out on it. So you can have 10 people and you're actually hanging out with them and showing them the world. So if you're a teacher or a tourist guide or an apartment, real estate, something, rather than having to fly or meet you, you just go in and be like, okay, here is the house, and I'm opening it, and this is what it looks like in real time. It's super important, I think, for people who travel. So let's say, you come from the US and the standard of living is like huge houses, whereas in Europe it's very much IKEA style, right? So you're thinking, oh, you're getting a suite, where in the States it will be a room. In Europe it's a suite, and but you can see everything in real time.
Real time.
So the world is moving towards this type of engagement, and the geographical barriers are disappearing, and there are right now 500 million people active on Google+. So the question is, who do you connect with, right? Who do you want to have in your stream of consciousness, in your life, your positive people, and how do they affect everything that you do? So rather than going out there and be like, oh, I need thousands of followers, no, you need 50 people that you engage with really, truly, and that engagement will get you the word of mouth, will get you the customers, will get you the, your reputation, and will increase your daily joy. And I think that's what we live for, right? Because when you die, that's it. What's left? The relationship.
Right. Right. Well, you can do something similar to that right now if you don't have the Google glasses, right? Because you can hang out on your phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking, and you can share kind of some of the. So if you don't have the $1,600 yet, you can at least try the kind of the concepts out, right, with your phone. Is that
Well,
right,
the good
Ifad?
news
Or
is that the assumption is when Google actually sells it, and when it opens up to the public in about a year or so, it's going to be around $250 or $300. So
okay, okay,
yeah, nothing to worry about. Probably the
it'll
same
be
as you would
accessible.
pay for an iPhone.
Right,
Um,
right, right, right.
but
Okay, so that's promising. That $1,600 type, I was like, whoa, too many,
not worth
not too
it.
many.
Not worth it. Yeah.
Okay. All
No.
right, so
So how do you
um,
start a Hangout? Yeah. What is
yeah,
it?
how do you start a hangout? Because I was having trouble, so thankfully Ifat took, again, she's hosting this for us. Thank you, Ifat.
No, my pleasure. Let me share my screen and I'll show you. So just make sure that we are here. Okay, so this is my stream, this is my profile, and it's tiny, so I'll make it a little bit bigger. There you go. Hold on.
I can see it.
It's kind of grayish. It hasn't. You don't see my stream yet. Hold on. Da, 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 da. Okay. So, and here we are hanging out eventually. Okay, so to start a Hangout, you have this little green thing up here. Do you see
Yeah.
that?
Yep.
If you click on that, you get all your chats and all your previous chats. On the bottom here, it says Hangout Party. And you just click on that, and basically it starts a regular Hangout. It's not going to be recorded on YouTube. It's just like a regular,
Just Skype,
just a
almost like a
private
Skype.
Hangout.
Gotcha.
And you can open it up to the public and just see who jumps in, or your circles, or just one person. If you want to do what we're doing right now, Hangouts on Air, you just go to your banner here, the left ribbon, click on Hangouts on Air, and it will show you all the Hangouts that are happening right now. And here we are. And you click right here, Start Hangout on Air.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think that's a little weird placement. I wouldn't have. I would have been looking at the top for it, but yeah, it's good to know. Okay, thank you. See, that's
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
So what I have, because I don't want to go through all these places and stuff, I just have bookmarks. I don't know if you can see it, but I have a
Smart.
bookmark for the regular one and a bookmark for
Okay.
the one. And then
That's smart. That's a nice shortcut. Thank you.
Easier.
Oh, that's 10 times smarter. I know Google's always trying to figure out what's the best way to do this, so they keep shifting it around. So it's good to know. So bookmark it. It should still offer the same functionality, so that's good to know. All right. So what is the kind of the best way that you would recommend people find you or get acquainted with you? Do you have anywhere that you like directing people first and foremost to get a hold of you? Is it G Goto Gal?
So actually, it's actually my profile. I live on Google Plus. Even if you don't see me posting, I do this all day long. It's just private. Like today, I was having a coffee with a friend in New Hampshire on a Hangout. We're just like, hey, let's hang out. I'm like, okay, let's have breakfast.
Right on. Right on.
So we are. So Google Plus. Just go to Google and type my name, and you'll see me.
I think if you just go to Google regular and type in Yifat Cohen, I think you own like 20, all the search pages.
There aren't any Yifats in, with my name there. So it's fine. It's a unique spelling. But there, and then G Goto Gal is where I will be posting more and engaging more. And there are two products there. One of them is Google Plus Game Plan, because if you want to succeed in Google Plus, in Google as a whole, as a website, Google Plus is not the one-all be-all. It's not a website like Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn. It's a part of a social platform that sits on top of all of Google services. So anything that you're doing in YouTube or your Gmail or your Reader or your book, everything comes back to.
It's all integrated. Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was saying that's what I think is the power behind it. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm just emphatically agreeing because I see that that's part of the power of Google Plus. And I've seen you say a bunch of times, a lot of people compare it to Facebook when in actuality, I don't think that's a very accurate description at all. Although I can see some of the, the overlap, it's not necessarily an accurate indication. One of the things that I point out to people I'd like to think I discovered, right? But I'm pretty sure this is among the people who are in the know. Like a site like Alexa.com gives you, if you go to Alexa.com, you can see all of the top 10 websites that are ranking, right? And of the top 3, 2 of them are owned by Google properties. Facebook being the middle, Google and Facebook flip-flopping on number 1, and then YouTube. So if Google Plus and YouTube, and Google's notorious at figuring out how to do what somebody else is doing, but way better, and they have some tricks up their sleeve that I'm pretty sure aren't fully, we can't fully conceive just yet, but, that's part of why I regularly go to Google Plus, and you've helped me to see that there's potential, like with some of your posts where you describe how some people think Google Plus is a ghost town. They're not, they don't understand it yet, right? So some of those posts I think are tremendous in helping people see the potential and leveraging it, to getting used to the new habit, like breaking old habits and start integrating some new modern ones, which you've actually helped me with a great deal. So thank you for that. Yeah, and because I took your, when you shared, I don't know, maybe a year and change ago, you shared something where, is your Google Plus a ghost town? I took that post and I reshared it to somebody I was trying to get business from, and the guy was like, "Oh my God, that was helpful as hell," and it won me an interview, a seat with him, and some referrals actually, believe it or not. So it was just from your post. So thank you.
Yay. No, that's really cool, because I think this is the beauty of Google Plus and why it's so successful. When you go to a networking event or a party or whatever, you don't walk in there going like, "Hey, here's my book, buy my book, this is my book, here's my business card, I'm opening there and I have a sale." Right? You go in there and you're like, "Hey, Carlos, how are you? I'm Yifat. What do you do? Oh, that's so cool. I know another guy who can do that stuff. Yeah, you guys should talk to each other." And right? You start getting to know people, and you say, "I love technology." I'll be like, "Oh, me too. I love movies. Great. Let's go catch a movie, or let's drink coffee or something." But you get to know the people first, and then afterwards you start doing business with them if there's any business to be done. And the problem with Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook and all these other websites is that they are very much about creating a persona online that you'd like to be. Look at me, I'm partying. Look at me at the beach. Look at me with the celebrities. Look at what I just ate. All that stuff. It's not you. And the thing is that when you post there, because the people who are connected to you are your family and your friends, and they already know you, so they'll comment, they'll like. So you post, and you get some response. You come to Google Plus, and what do? You post, but you don't follow anyone. You're not engaging, so nobody connects with you. You can post till the cows come home. Nobody's going to see you because you didn't go out and actually follow other people.
Engage, right.
Yeah. And so I think the problem is the engagement part. We forgot about that. We forgot how to connect to people, and also we're really worried, like, what should I say? Like, what should I write? Okay. Because if you tweet something, you can't go out and edit. If you post something on Facebook, you can't edit that. It's there. That's it. The internet never forgets. In Google Plus, you can. Like you make a mistake and you just go edit your post and it's fine. And there were many times when I was like, someone said, "Hey, there was something." Okay, you're gonna edit it out, but
we will.
There was one post where I was listening to paradigm shifts, and I was like, how do you have a paradigm shift? And I shared that video on Google Plus, and I said, have you ever had a paradigm shift? And I forgot the F. And so, people just came up with like, "I just had a paradigm shift. I finished an entire magazine," and I'm like, "These are funny, but I don't get it." And people are like, don't tell her," and comment. And
that's great.
Finally, someone is like, "You forgot the F," and I'm like, so.
That's pretty good.
Right, so I can go in there and I can correct it and fix that typo, and then everyone who comes later on don't even know what the first joke was about, right? But the post is right, and if anyone finds it, it's a public post. If anyone finds it in Google search, then it's correct.
That
but there's still
that's
a hole.
that is a very helpful feature. Thank you, Google. Yes,
Saved me
yes, it's
many
important to be
times.
able to change your posts for sure. So
Yeah, and so like
I
you
heard.
can't. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, 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 no. Yeah. So
Oh, you can't make any mistakes in Google Plus, and I think if people get that there's no mistakes, and you can block people who annoy you, and you can connect privately with the people that you want, then the focus changes, the mindset changes from like let me just brag about myself to let me make real relationship, real connections, real engagements. And when that happens, it's no longer a ghost town. It's actually very fulfilling, and you can spend your entire day hanging out. You know, it's pretty.
right, yeah. Now, when you first got started, how long did it take you to see, I guess, the quote unquote success? And of course, that also, uh, that's basically with your definition of success in mind. Obviously, is what I'm looking for. Uh, because you said you were invited to Google
Yeah,
Plus.
yeah.
Okay. So how
Um,
did you? Yeah, how long did it take you to see some interaction and or I don't know money and or I don't know success as Ifat defines it?
Money came only 3 months ago because I had a mental block
Wow.
of charging people. I would do all that stuff for free, and I was like, I love it so much. I'm like, I want to show you how beautiful it is, and I wouldn't charge you for it because it's fun for me. So then I met Alex Mandojan, who was like, "What are you doing, dude? I would fully pay for it." And so he paid me. He actually paid me to become. He was my first student, and from there I started monetizing and meeting more and more people. So the money came just lately, and it's once it started coming, knock on wood, thank you. It keeps coming. Um, but I would think success more is the engagement and the relationship, and that came probably the first month, right when we get there, because there was no user suggested list, and so there were just a few people, and you would just like see the people, and you'll follow them, and you'll follow them, they'll follow you, and we had the incoming stream where you can see everyone who's all the posts of all those who follow you. So
Hmm.
it was easier to see, okay, these people are following me, what are they about, and then add them and start engaging with them. Where now it's much harder. You actually have to go and search and dig and find
Right.
people. But I think that the real success is the engagement and the
Yeah,
relationship that you make. And I can show you people with 1.5 million followers who
right.
don't get half of the engagement that people with like 10,000 or 30,000 get.
I got to tell you, number one, I'm thankful for that answer. It sounded so, it was very, very genuine. I'm glad you didn't say something like, oh, I'm making $1 zillion. If I just told her she didn't start monetizing this thing until about 3 months ago. It's very recent, but I've been following her for at least 2 years now. At least is in my
Mm-hmm.
brain is what it is. So thank you. And part of why I followed her, part of why I got involved. And one of the things that I wanted to know that I'm pretty sure a lot of people want to know is you posted something about how to get X amount of followers in a
Mm-hmm.
certain amount of days, and I think that list keeps changing, right? Like that keeps growing. And you were immediate success in my eyes just from the word go because of the content that you were sharing. You immediately added the value that I was looking for, and I got to tell you guys, she's given a lot of stuff out in the past. If she decides to keep it out there, you'd be fortunate to go and find it because she gives you the stuff that you would expect to pay. And I've seen other people charging, thousands of dollars for, and she's done it for free for the most part, and it's been very surprising. So I immediately glommed onto her for that. She understands, giving and sharing value. And I'm pretty sure that value is way more than the money that she's made so far. Now that I know how long it's been that she's been making money, so you'd be wise to go check her out just to see some of the stuff that I'm talking about, just to see some of the epic content. As far as you feeling like you've succeeded, I'm pretty sure, I heard you say on Dumas's show, when did you feel like you arrived? You were like, I don't yet, and I never want to, or something to that effect. That I
Mm-hmm.
thought was really, really classy, and as well as really, really, really powerful. You're always kind of drawing that line in the sand further and further out, which is probably going to be the reason why you keep growing and growing, right? Once you
Yeah.
feel like you've arrived, and you're right. It's got to be a difficult once you've amassed a following to try and engage. I am amazed that I'm on this interview with you because you have a zillion followers, right? You're always doing these things, and like I said, I've been trying so hard to get on a Hangout with you, and it's been like, but
Now that I know Carlos, I'll invite you personally before we even start.
oh,
I didn't know. Yeah.
thank you guys. You see, guys, right on.
I didn't know you were waiting.
Not waiting. I just try to jump on.
Yeah.
It's part of the So okay, so any sort of I know you post a lot of stuff that you find out there, but what are some of the the mantras or the ways to live, the sayings that you live by? It could be from somebody famous, or it could be from a family member, your mom, your kid. What are some of the ways that you live, the virtues that Yifat lives by every day that you think would be a helpful thing to contribute to the world that other people might want to model and follow after?
That's a good question. What are my values? Well, I'm a mom, so relationships are important to me, and I'm learning to balance my time online and my face-to-face family time. And I think that's really important because they always tell you, they grow so fast, and if you have just one kid, you don't know how fast they grow. So there's nothing to compare. But thanks to technology, you always look back at pictures and go like, oh, wow, dude, I totally missed that time. So I'm trying to do that. The other one is, I think latest quote that I heard, we don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. And I always try to be like, okay, well, if I'm seeing something negative, it's how I am, right? And if I want to see a better world, then I need to start being a better person to see the world differently. So I'm always working on that, on self-improvement and positivism. And I'm trying to, this is one thing for Google+. I started really surrounding myself with positive people who are happy, who see possibilities and not challenges, people who aspire to be better and grow and connect and be community members. And so I don't circle people who are negative or who are, self-serving or, out there to get their own dime, because I can't collaborate with them. I'm always going to be like, oh, you got this, I got that. Oh, I got it. It's always going to be a fight, and it's not worth it. So I wanna leave a good legacy when people think about me that hey, I contributed in a way somehow. I made their life happier.
I think you've done that in a big way. Yeah, for sure.
Well, thank you. I hope that. And so that's it. So for me, it's like I didn't succeed on Facebook. I didn't succeed on Twitter. I suck on LinkedIn, and the reason why is, it's very fake to me. LinkedIn is very much resume-like.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, and then Facebook is very much like, oh, look at all the stuff I've done, and look at all the people, and not interested. And then, so I don't have many friends on Facebook. And Twitter, I never got into it. So Google Plus is my big success, and I think it's because I can be myself with different people. So like one person I can be, a total mom with, and another one I can be a total geek with, and another one I can totally, just talk movies till the cows come home, right? But like you get all these aspects of yourself fulfilled, and you are able to do it in your own language. You don't pretend to be this professional who, knows how to write resumes, or this, cool guy who just goes out parties all the time. You're just you. And this is the problem, is like we don't know who we are. I think the problem is that we're so immersed in this social virtual world, and we're trying to get this status and the clout and the numbers, and we forget who we are and where our voice is. And I hope that Google Plus actually allows you to find that again because of the people you interact with.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, no. It's and that is part of the challenge, is that you have found your voice, right, on Google Plus.
Yeah, I do.
And a lot of people have that struggle where that's part of why I put together this niche interview series, is because I've also tried to, there have been times where I had local clients say, they're like, oh, I can't use that. And I'm always trying to find the golden nugget to how to incorporate or how to repurpose for another business. And, some of the examples that I have from life, from some of the people that I've, fortunately been able to follow from mentors, is they've looked for, they keep their antennas up for the opportunity, for the way to repurpose, for the way to re-leverage. And I think that's part of what I learned from you I could be totally wrong here, but for as an example, you're an icon on Google Plus, and you speak from the heart. And a lot of people can learn a lot of stuff from you, but then it's about, for me, it's trying to take that information and harness it to reapply it for a specific purpose and an end. As an example, I might have to look from some of the stuff that you've given me to try and help, how do I help a plumber get leads from Google Plus or something like that in some sort of way? And there are ways to do it. I figured out some of these things, to be honest with you, and it can include things from actually I have a dog trainer that I'm doing. I call it the $1,500 outline. If you go check out the blog, you'll see it. I did an outline for this guy, which is $1,500, but it was us doing Hangout interviews, which you can find on my page, on the whole, like on different aspects of dog training. But we're using that as content fodder, very easy way to get content out there for possible subscribers and or people that want to get to know about kind of voyeuristic sort of thing. That's what I think the power behind some of this stuff is. It allows you to get past the corporate image and to the person. That's why I think a lot of small business owners can thrive using these sorts of tools that are now available to them that were never available before. And I know big business owners that haven't been able to figure out how to, they can't get past spending $10,000 a month for Yellow Pages because that's all they were used to for like the last 10 years. Whereas, somebody who used to work for him, I have people contact me saying, this, how is he doing it on, Twitter or Google Plus? And I'm like, well, because he's engaging. I could see he's a face behind the name. You're not doing that. You're still putting out the ad, hoping that'll work. You gotta adapt. So.
It's a mind. That's why I love this. I think we're moving towards an awesome world where we're no longer just numbers for a business. We actually people and customers, right? And the transparency that Google Plus and Hangouts bring to your business and your relationship will take us to, I think, a new level of engagement. And if you're a business and you want to really the reason why you started a business, the reason why you opened that bakery or you decided to train dogs or you're doing video is because you are passionate about this and you wanted to share your passion with other people. You wanted to make that perfect bread that no one else can make, that only you can make. And when you see people eat that, their joy from, tasting something that you've created is what fills you up.
Right.
We forgot about this in the process of trying to pay rent and employees and do the finances and the overhead and the market and the clients, and maybe I'll put up a page here and stuff. We forgot why we started. And Google Plus and Hangouts really bring that back home because now you can just open a Hangout and bring your customers to your kitchen and show them how you do that. And it doesn't have to be professional. It doesn't have to be lights and whistles and stuff. It just has to be genuine one-on-one. Yeah. And because people will know you, we'll move to the cheers mentality where everybody knows your name.
Yeah.
Right? And so, they know you. Like James Wedmore says, hey, people stop me down the street because they saw me on a video. Same thing will happen to you on a Hangout, and just forget about all this, I need to just open it up, see what happens,
Put it out there, right?
Yeah, just start. You can't mess it up. If worst case scenario, delete the video. It never happened.
You're right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's do it.
You said something that I really value about surrounding yourself with the positive people, the right type of people. I do believe, I've heard the expression. I don't know who said it first, but I do believe you're a collection of who you hang out with as well as what you read. I'm curious because I think it's a big part of my little theory in my head. What is it that you're reading? Are you a reader, or are you reading anything?
I am, and I always try to finish. So I'll show you two. I'm in the middle. So I read The Charge.
Brendan Burchard.
Yeah, and I actually met Simon Mannering.
Okay.
And this is how brands and consumers use social media to build a better world.
Right on. Okay.
Yeah, so I met him in person 2 days ago, and he gave me the book with the dedication also. And that's the power of Google Plus, because we met, on here, and I interviewed him, and we connected, and now he's bugging me to figure out my brand. There you go. So we're in the process. I'm in the process of growing and refining and doing all that stuff. So it's getting good.
I mean, that's always a never-ending process. We are getting to. I don't want to take up too much more of your time because we're supposed to start this at 11:30, and it's now almost been an hour. So, final few questions for you, if I can, maybe one or two. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Yifat?
go for it. Yeah.
All right. So, success generally requires help or partnerships. And I know you do a lot of stuff by yourself, but you also do have a few partners that you're JVing with. How do you find these people? How do you suggest people go about finding their, complementary counterparts, if any?
Okay, so
And
the
is it
first
even
one,
necessary, I guess?
what's that?
And is it even necessary, or can
Is it
you
necessary
think
to
you can?
find JVs? I don't know if JVs, but I do believe that you can't make it on your own. And like you said, I read somewhere that your income is the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most. Is the average income of the 5 people you hang out with the most. So
Oh,
what
wow.
happened to me? I was hanging out with employees, and charging $200 for a course was like, oh my God. And then right? And then I started hanging out with people who charge $10,000 for 10 hours, and I'm like, oh my God. And
puts it
right?
all puts it all in perspective, right? It gives you a little. Wait a minute.
Yeah, and so now I feel like I'm too cheap. I'm like, dude, they're charging 50,000. I'm only 997. What's wrong here? I need to raise my prices. But it's the mentality, right? It's the people you surround yourself. So, I am lucky to have my Israeli chutzpah. Um,
Chutzpah.
you know that?
Yes, I've heard of Chutzpah. Yeah, I grew up in Brooklyn, by the way. So yeah.
So I saw Alex Medosian Hangouts, and I saw his lower third saying the Hangout guy, and I'm like, dude, come on. What, just because you're Alex Medosian, you can jump into this space and say, I am the Hangout guy? I've been here since the beginning. So I sent him a message like that, exactly like that. I'm like, you and I have some beef, I think. You cannot.
Okay.
And I was like, you can't call yourself the Hangout guy. I've been here first, so I think we should go on a Hangout and squash this in public. And he came back and said, I don't know who you are and what you're doing, but I know what I'm doing, so contact my assistant and we'll set up a time. And I was like, okay, fine, wow. So we had a phone call before the Hangout, and we started talking, and I was like, holy crap, he's the only internet marketer that actually gets the big Google picture, not just the Google Plus Facebook type of thing. And so we really connected, and we had a Hangout, and then he called me and he said, what do you want to do in 2013? I want to support you. And I was like, yay. So that was the first one. So I guess the advice from this is have some chutzpah. Go for what you want. Like, who was it Michael Dell or Bill Gates who called HP and said, hey, I need some parts for something?
Oh, probably Michael Dell, but yeah, no.
Yeah.
So essentially, what I got from that, the lesson that I took away from that was
Ask.
just is it be yourself, or were you I guess cause what I got lost in was, did he change his title for you or no?
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he did.
Hired me. Yeah, he did. He hired me as his coach, and we created a course together, Hangout Marketing Secrets. And
Okay.
And he said, I am not the Hangout dude. And actually, the challenge with him and why he wasn't getting a lot of traction was because he was marketing on Hangouts. And
Yeah.
I was like, dude,
Okay.
nobody comes to a Hangout to watch a TV show. They have a TV for that. They want to engage with you. And you're Alex Mendoza. Nobody ever gets to engage with you. Let them in. Talk to them. Engage with them. And he started doing that. And he started getting more and more, traction. And people are following him. And he gets conversions better and all that stuff. So that was good. He's listening. He's a good student.
Right. Okay. So as
Right?
far as that's probably something I should have asked you a long time ago. How do we get people to hang out with us, and how do we get these followers? How do we get people to the point where they can't get on the hangout with you? Like, what is something that you might suggest doing that's either a one-shot deal or recurring? I'm not sure what the right answer is, but I'm imagining it's recurring. So how do you get people to
hang
hang
out.
out with you? Yeah. How do you get followers and stuff? How do you get people to show up and
It's actually the other way around. So you have to serve them first. So you don't get them to do. You don't have to. You don't get them to do anything. We can't get anyone to make it to do anything. You show interest in them and you invite them, and then if they share the same interest, then they'll show up, and if they don't, they don't. What I'm going to start doing is actually putting these Hangouts behind a membership wall. So they're free for everyone, but I want to serve my guests better, and I want to give them an attentive audience. And so I don't want it to be kind of like, oh, yeah, whatever, I'll catch it, I don't catch it, I'll see it, I won't see it. I want the audience to be listening to the guests because they're giving their time and expertise. So it's going to be behind a membership wall.
Gotcha.
And I'm hearing more and more people are doing that. Like they're going to start doing this thing. And it's a great way to build a list, to build a relationship, to stay in touch, and actually serve even those who are willing to give you their time, like making sure they get into your Hangouts. I'm sorry again.
No, that's awesome. That's a good problem, though.
Yeah, so it's and it's over time. I've been doing this for 2 years now, right, with Brock. It's over time. It builds and builds and builds. And so what you have to do is build your audience before you start Hangouts. And you build your audience by finding your audience, the people you want to hang out with, and inviting them and doing one-on-one Hangouts with them, and then figuring out what it is that you even want to talk about.
Right. Okay. Okay. No,
audience first, Hangouts later.
So engage first, audience. What did you say? I'm sorry.
Audience first, Hangouts later.
Gotcha.
So, engage, build an audience, and then.
And then when you actually do your Hangout, like, is it sort of like something that you time in advance, or like do you have to, like, how does Yifat do it? Basically, is what I'm getting at. Like, how did you start getting the momentum going and getting people to, and how far ahead do you usually plan a Hangout?
I schedule probably about a month ahead. So I have a weekly show. So it's every week on Thursday at 11 a.m. Central Time.
Right. Okay.
So I have a whole, hopefully 4 to 6 weeks out, like where the Hangouts are, it's going to be, and the guests and all that stuff. And it's a challenge if you think about this, because everybody's hanging out, everybody's having guests, and everybody's talking about important things. So what is it that you bring that other people don't bring? Like, why would someone come hang out with you and not with someone else? And I think it's the personality, and it's the way that you structure your Hangouts. So I allow people to jump in, and it's called unscripted because I want the authentic relationship. So you can ask my guest anything. One time I brought in the vice president of Walt Disney, and I was like, are you okay? Do you want to know what the questions are in advance and stuff? He's like, no, if I can't answer a question, I'll just say I'm not going to answer it. And I'm like, perfect, And then people actually get to talk to the VP of marketing of Walt Disney face-to-face, unscripted. Whoever gets in, gets in. And I think that's the real value, right? Like, if I can ever get like Oprah, right? You want to be able to talk to Oprah, not be like, hey, I'm reading a question from you.
But by the way, while I have you on this call real quick, is there anybody, has anybody ever requested, Yifat, that you do an interview if you can get the person on with you?
Yeah, so people suggest other people. They're like, hey, I think this will be a great guest for you. Some people who have done Hangouts ask for another Hangout so that I can promote events.
Right.
And because the way I do it is like I host it on my own website. So I have my Hangout, and right next to it there's a call to action. And so people get to know the guest, and then they say, hey, I want to learn more, and then they go and opt in, or they buy something or stuff like that. So it actually converts without the marketing pitch. And I think that's really the biggest benefit, is that you get to know who you want to do business with. And so, yeah, people come back and they're like, hey, I got business, thanks so much, I'll do another one.
Right on. If you ever get him on the air, because I'm trying to, is Tim Ferriss. If you can do something with him, that'd be cool.
I think you have to. What is it? You have to buy his book or something like that, right? Or
I have a few of his books, so it's good to know. Just thought I'd throw that in there while we're on the call.
But you know what? It's like it's the challenge of the numbers. I was challenging Robert Scoble when we first got on Google Plus, and he was like, "Oh, this nobody. I'm not even paying attention to her." And then a few weeks ago, right, when Google turned 2 years old, he was at the Ritz with his friends, whatever, and he was going like, hey, I knew Google will be this great place, before I even started. And I was like, no, you didn't. And,
you call people out, huh? Right on.
Yeah, I took a screenshot from what he said 2 years ago,
Wow.
where he was
Careful what you
like,
say, guys. He didn't know how to delete. He didn't know how to edit that one.
it became a big thing, and I was like, dude, your vision of Google Plus was totally skewed back then, and for years you were skewed, and now all of a sudden you have Glass, you say, oh, I was this future seeing guru? No. So I took a screenshot and I put it on my stream, and it became like a big thing where people are like, yeah, I don't like Scoble either, blah, blah. And so now he notices me, and he comes back and he's like, oh, I circled her. And I'm like, oh, thank you very much, big fat guy, So I think the challenge, if you want to get Tim Ferriss, is
Ferriss?
that Tim Ferriss is
I
that
love
you
it. She don't
have.
even know. She barely knows him. Who's that guy?
I know his book, but I don't, but I think it will get there. It will start getting like you need a little bit of clout or follower. Someone will start mentioning you.
Right.
But everything is like who knows who, right? So you start
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
people
of course.
yeah. So
Yeah,
it's the
totally.
same thing
No,
in real life.
I mean, I was blown away that you were, there are a few people that you did interview that I was just like, wow, how, they're definitely, interesting. And I hope that, the lessons that you just get, you have other things going on. I don't want to monopolize the rest of your time, so final question is, how should people best get a hold of you, and any final closing thoughts? And thank you, by the way, for joining us, Yifat.
Oh, my pleasure. So my goal really is to always be accessible, and hopefully
Right on.
it doesn't. Hopefully I have a team that frees my time eventually. Yeah.
Okay, that's her time. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Yifat, for doing this interview. And this is Carlos, Prolific Persistence, Niche Interview Mastery Series. This was Yifat Cohen. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's okay. I know.